to feel it. My body's young enough to feel this.
What's going on, guys? Reckless T here again with another Destiny video, and today we will be covering the patch 2.5.0.2 preview. Bungie had a stream today. If you did not notice or realize it, if you weren't paying attention to the weekly updates the past couple weeks, they had a stream covering the patch, a little preview of what is to come next Tuesday when the patch comes out. So let's get into the nitty gritty, the things that they had covered in the stream. I'm not going to take too long. If you want to go back and watch the stream, I have it linked down in the description below. But we're going to cover the things that Bungie had pointed out to us and the things that they spoke of but did not really speak of. So first, let's start off with shotguns. They said they significantly decreased the magnetism or the aim assist when firing from the hip. Then they also decreased the in-air accuracy, removed precision damage from shotguns, excluding the chaperone, and also the universe remote when aiming down sights, which we'll get to later. And they also increased the damage in PvP by 20%. That's just to offset the fact that they took away precision damage from every shotgun except for the two exotic shotguns I mentioned. They increased the ADS time for rangefinder perk on shotguns by 25%. That is for those who look for that guard-rolled Matador 64 that has rangefinder, and it takes a little longer to aim down sight, so you can't take full advantage of that rangefinder like we do now and just fly in, aim down sight real quick, and get that sniper kill with a shotgun that everybody just detests. They removed the agility decrease. I don't really know what that means. I think it means that they removed the fact that there were some shotguns from year one that had a specific perk that gave you free knee pads. So I think they took care of that with shotguns. Now let's go on to pulse rifles. They reduced the rate of fire for low impact pulse rifles, i.e. the Clever Dragon, Grasp Malik, and the Waltz, the pulse rifle that's sold by Future Warcole, by 7.7%, or basically just one frame. That will play a big deal in what comes up next. After this next point, they decreased, for pulse rifles across the board, they decreased their flinch or reduced it, and they also did they made it so that high caliber rounds are not as effective, and that's a good thing because with those high rate of fire pulse rifles, especially the Clever Dragon, they already flinched a lot by themselves, and pairing that with high cal, it made it almost impossible to duel people with a guard roll Clever Dragon that had high caliber rounds. They also reduced the magazine size of the Clever Dragon, so that I think it starts at 24 now, and if you use brace frame with that so-called guard roll Clever Dragon to have all that stability, it drops your magazine size down to 18. So it's a big trade-off there when it comes to using the guard roll weapons now. They increased the rate of fire for high impact pulse rifles by 5.3%, which is great because the messenger type pulse rifles, which used to just rain terror, two-burst their opponent, and people would two-burst their opponents in Crucible back in year one trials, man, it was great back then. And now they're bringing back the high impact pulse rifles by just increasing the rate of fire of the high rate of fire and decreasing the rate of fire of the low rate of fire, or basically the high impact pulse rifles. This will make the entire pulse rifle class more competitive, and let's just see what they do there. For pulse rifles, auto rifles, and scout rifles, they have increased the in-air accuracy for all three of those weapons so that it can basically compete with hand cannons who already had good in-air accuracy. Onto auto rifles. This is my favorite weapon in particular. Me and Deej, we both for some reason like the same weapons, except for shotguns. I am a fusion rifle fanatic, as you can see in the gameplay in the background. But let's just talk about auto rifles real quick. They increased the base damage of low rate of fire auto rifles. They didn't say by how much, they just increased it just so that it can basically do more damage and compete with the high rate of fire and mid rate of fire auto rifles. They've increased the critical multiplier for all auto rifles from 1.25 to 1.3. If you didn't pay attention to how much damage that is in the stream, if you watched it, I don't know off the top of my head the numbers, but they used the raid assault rifle or auto rifle, and that auto rifle has focus fire. It's been a long time since I've seen an auto rifle do more than 30 damage crit with the with an auto rifle with focus fire. And that means my favorite exotic, the Cyril's Regime, is coming back, and that may be one of the exotics they may have touched on, that they have made touch but did not speak of. Next, we're going to hand cannons. They significantly increased the initial shot accuracy, reduced the base range by 5%, and they reduced the max range reduction from 50% to 33%. So now you can like basically tap people a little further than you did now, meaning they got rid of most of the ghost bullets that you may have encountered, especially with using the Hawk Moon. I think this patch, this little buff or tweak to hand cannons really helps out the Hawk Moon. I can't wait to see how that weapon also competes in the Crucible, because I haven't seen it in a long time, except when I do private matches with my friends. And just like the auto rifles and pulse rifles, I'm just going to mention Scout rifles also got an in-air accuracy increase. Now let's go on to special Crucible special ammo. This is something good for the simple fact that they did not touch any other special weapons except for shotguns. They tweaked shotguns so that the fusion rifle, the sidearm, and also the snipers now have a chance to compete and shine in Crucible, unlike they have they weren't able to recently. They basically, what they did was they made it so that players start with special ammo like they normally do, but upon dying they lose it, and when they respawn you start with 0, except for when you use sidearms. Sidearms still maintain that native perk where they always have ammo when you respawn. Also, they mentioned that the icebreaker and the invective are good ways to work around it, because you still have to wait for your ammo to come back anyway. They basically made it so that the special crates spawn every 60 seconds now that they take your ammo away when you die, which will make it more competitive, in my opinion, because now people will have to use their primaries to get kills. I also think it's a double-edged sword. It makes it more competitive, but now we're going to have more campers around the special ammo spawns. So it's going to be a lot of map control depending on where the special is. Now we have also, they have reduced the radius of special ammo for your teammates when you pick up the ammo. So just make sure that you communicate with your teammates so that everybody can have a little taste of that special ammo when you pop the box. And players only start with special ammo on the first round in Elimination or Trials of Osiris. I cannot wait to see how Trials of Osiris next weekend works out with this new patch that they're about to deploy next week. Now let's get on to the class changes. The Hunter, they spoke of three things with the Hunter classes that they changed. The only three that they spoke of were for two subclasses. The Golden Gun and the Blade Dancer. First off, let's speak of the Blade Dancer. The Hungering Blade for the Blade Dancer now only gives health instead of regenerating health. So you get instant health, but it doesn't regenerate it. And it does not give you your shield upon kill. But you do get some shield back, as they mentioned. If you have just a little bit of health missing and you get a kill with your Blade Dancer and you have Hunger and Blade, you get just a little bit of shield back, depending on your where your health is when you get the kill. I don't know how that works with the actual melee, because the Blink Strike melee also works with Hunger and Blade. So we'll see how that works along with the new tweaks. See if that does the same thing as the Blade Dancer perk. Super. And they also adjusted Blink, and they didn't say what they did to it, but they worked on it. They said that means for the Hunter and the Warlock. For Golden Gun, the throwing knife now does solar damage. Finally. Now let's go on to the Warlock, my subclass of choice. They reduced the Stormcaller melee range. Really doesn't affect me because I really didn't use Stormcaller that much. I'm more of a Void Walker type guy. I love doing the Void Bomb, Nova Bomb, whatever you call it. I said Void Bomb. I'm such a noob. Nova Bomb, and just obliterating my competition immediately. They reduced the total time of Storm Trance when using Landfall. You can get a little work around this. It may not be as long as the normal one, but normal Storm Trance. But if you use Transcendence, you do get a little extra time with Storm Trance. They basically did this just like how they did with the Sunsinger. When you use self-res, your radiance is reduced significantly. And like I said, blink was adjusted, but they didn't say what they did. We had to wait until the patch notes actually come out next week. Titan, they just spoke of the Juggernaut shield. It disables quicker in midair, and the Juggernaut cannot be activated in midair. So that's pretty much it for the class changes. And they spoke of four exotics. They spoke of the universal remote, and they mentioned it when speaking of shotguns. The precision damage only is active when aiming down sights now. So that really caters for those who like to use shotguns and aim down sights, and those who still use universal remote. And they said they also dropped the damage, I believe, or did something else to the universal remote. I cannot remember off the top of my head. But they also did something to the Truth, Shinobu Vows, and the Young Wolf's Howl. Well, they didn't speak of what they did, but they just said that they tweaked them and some other exotics, but they didn't mention the other exotics. Guys, thanks for watching and coming through. And please like, comment, and subscribe, and download. Please tell me what your favorite part of the patch preview was, what you look forward to next week with the change of Destiny. A lot of people may not like the changes, but to me, finally shotgun warriors are put in their place. If they can stay alive long enough, do your thing. But now you're going to have to deal with the real players of Destiny, those who know how to use their primaries and those who know how to use other secondaries or specials. This is Reckless T. I'm signing out, and please like, comment, and subscribe. See ya.